This is Jodine with Capital Jazz TV, and I'm sitting here with the Lalah Hathaway. How are you, Lalah?
I'm great. Thanks for having me.
Thank you for being here. This is your, third, fourth time here at the
Third or fourth.
Capital Jazz Festival?
Yes.
How do you love, first of all, let me ask, do you love being
Absolutely.
at the Capital Jazz Festival?
I love festivals because I love seeing all my friends, and we only on a cruise or at a festival do we get to hang out like for the day.
Right.
So it's always fun for me to see everyone.
Right. Anyone today that you were looking forward to seeing?
Take Six, absolutely. The greatest a cappella group of all time.
Absolutely. I agree with you on that.
Isley Brothers, you know, I mean.
Right.
Wow.
Right. So we were talking earlier, and I'm just going to cut right into this because you made a little profound statement before we started rolling when you talked about jazz.
Yeah.
And we talk about genres of music all the time, and you said something very interesting about jazz. People don't understand jazz. What does that mean?
I think that we have these festivals, and they happen all over the United States and elsewhere. But particularly here, we call them jazz festivals, and it'll be me and Drew Hill and Patti LaBelle and Tank. And none of us are jazz artists, but I think there's a cachet and that we understand that jazz means real music. So it's something about the moniker of jazz, even though we don't really support it or know exactly what it is. I think it's important for people to embrace live music, whatever, you know, I don't know why they're not just called music festivals.
Right.
But it's kind of a
A lot of festivals took the music off of it.
They took the music off of it.
Because it's like a lot more elements to it now.
Absolutely.
A lot more elements to it now. When people think of Lalah Hathaway, do they think jazz or...
I don't know.
You don't know?
I really don't know. I think it depends on which road they met me. So if they came to me through Joe Sample, then probably think of me as a jazz singer. Or through Kendrick Lamar, maybe I sing hooks. Or, you know, I've made so many different types of records and go across the board. I find that I never tell people what I do because I'm always just doing the same thing. So people really interpret art through their own lens. Like, you a blues singer, or you a gospel singer. I got that record with you and Kurt
However
Whalum.
you feed it.
However you feed it, yeah.
For the last 20 years, we another conversation, for the last 20 some odd years, I would say that for some odd reason, just recently, not even just recently, for the last few years, I'm just seeing Lalah Hathaway everywhere.
Are you really?
And that's what... See,
where?
I'm just seeing Lalah Hathaway. Like, Lalah Hathaway's name is on this album. It's on that album. It's on this album.
Well, and I work. I definitely work.
Right.
I definitely work.
Right.
I feel like there are a lot more places you could see me.
And I was just going to talk to you about that. So, like, where would you like your career to be, or next, or where's that road taking you?
You know, as a musician, I'm happy with the message that I put out. I'm happy with the sound that I put out. I am always striving to be the best musician I can be. Now, having said that, of course you want 1 billion people to buy it because you would like to have a Bentley and a house in Hamptons.
Right.
What I do musically feeds me, but there are definitely more people that I want to get to. More people that I want to get the message of music to.
Do you feel like working with, let's say, Kendrick Lamar is completing that, or is there more?
I hope so. I hope that's a step. You know, I hope it's a step. I have gigs with Chick Corea this summer, which is incredible.
I love that you mix and blend like that.
I do. My mission is to do as much music as I can, and because I can do all of those things from an authentic space, I have to.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice. So last time we talked, before I ask you what's next, last time we talked, there was a Lalah Hathaway live album on the horizon. Wait, zoom please, zoom. How was it?
It was epic. I recorded
because it wasn't in New York. Let me just
no,
make that real clear.
I actually, you know, from the beginning, I knew I kind of wanted to record it in the same room that my father recorded his album, which I did, which was the Troubadour in Los Angeles. So it was kind of historic, and such a spiritual event for me to be in the room where he was and recording that live album. It was really, really something.
What do you mean spiritual? Like, what was that feeling?
It was a feeling that it's hard to explain, and I've been trying to explain it for people since it happened. I cannot explain it, but to tell you that he was there and with me, and the energy in the room was so electric, and what I got from the people even now is so electric, and it really was what I wanted it to be. It really came to fruition. So I was really happy about the record.
I want to say that one of my favorite videos, Little Ghetto Boy.
Thank you.
Oh my gosh! And then like seeing some of my friends on there, like Russell said, like just
Yeah.
seeing like all the folks there, and it's like, oh my gosh!
Absolutely.
How did you choose? Like, first of all, why that message, and then how did you choose who to work with on your album?
I love that song. I knew it was going to go on my live album. It was one of the ones my father recorded on his live album, and as poignant as it was when it was written 40 years ago, it clearly still stands today. And in 140 years, we'll still be able to sing it, and it'll feel timely at that moment, you know? It's just one of those songs I wanted to be able to help to give a new generation of people, because the song talks about everything, but at the end of the song, everything has got to get better.
It does.
It's just that message of hope
Yes.
and encouragement that I feel like is so missing for our kids on the radio.
Yes.
And I wanted to be able to give that to them.
And we received it. Let me tell you, we received it. Talking about hope, can we just take a pause a little bit for
Sure.
how we missing out on Muhammad Ali, how we missing out on Prince.
You know,
how we're
Muhammad
missing
was
out.
easier because
Because we
knew what was
we
happening.
knew we
And it's-
we saw it.
it's just a hole sucked out of your childhood. It's just the wind sucked out of your body. You hear that news, and the first thing everyone in my house, we all just said,
Right.
Prince.
Come on.
That's probably the worst news I've heard in 10 years.
Impact on your life? Did he have an impact on your life?
Certainly.
I mean, tell me how. Tell me how.
You know, I have not idolized very many people. He is
Right.
one of them. From the time I was 10 or 12 years old, understanding, before I even had a vision of who he was, understanding that music as an 11-year-old, understanding like, oh, I can vibe to this music. I hear the guitars, I hear the drums. It was music that I could relate to somehow and that spoke to me. Never mind the assless chaps and the hand puppet.
But that kind of made you go,
It did.
ooh,
Well,
wait.
when I got 13, I was like, what? He was such a total entertainment package for me. But before all of that, he was a consummate musician. And that he called me in 2008 and said, can you come open some shows for me? Just the actual breath just all dropping out of whooshing out of my body at once, to be able to go on stage with him and sing Sometimes It Snows in April, and to sing Diamonds and Pearls, you know, to have those conversations. I'm so
Okay, sorry.
I'm so blessed.
Yes.
He definitely had an impact on my life, musically, spiritually. He was a good dude.
He was. So, I know we got to wrap it up because we could talk forever. What's next for Lalah Hathaway?
Well, you know, we're still on the first single from this record. Incredibly, it came out in October, and we're still on the first single.
Nice.
We were #1 for 9 weeks, which was a first for me. The album debuted. It was my highest charting debut, and it's doing really well.
Yeah.
And before I let anybody hear it, I sent it to Anita Baker and said, is this okay?
Nice.
Because I don't want no trouble.
Right.
You know
Because
what I
Anita
mean?
will call you out.
She will call you.
She will call
you out.
back.
It's so important for me to know that she received it, because
Good.
it's really a love letter to her, you know.
Good.
So we're going to move on to the next single,
Mm-hmm.
which is Mirror, which is a beautiful song, which I think is so needed right now. And I feel like our kids have a lot to choose from, but there's some stuff not on a level playing field that they have access to. And I think that song has such a beautiful message, and want them to be able to have it.
Well, I'm hoping to see you at the Capitol Jazz Cruise.
Wonderful.
Going
You
to
know,
Cuba.
it's one of my favorite gigs. Indeed.
Yeah.
It's one of my favorite gigs in the year. I love the boats.
Man, let me tell you, when I saw your name for the Soul Cruise, I was like, yeah, of course I'll be there.
She
of course.
better be there.
Right. Of course I'll be
Yeah.
there. So I'm excited.
I look forward to that.
Man, I'm looking forward to like checking out Cuba and
Oh, yeah.
and just seeing, because I think there's some days you're actually in Cuba.
Absolutely,
And
overnight.
there's some activities to do.
I really look forward to everyone I know on the planet is trying to go. Literally.
Well, I'm excited about you. I'm excited about where you're going next. How do we keep in contact with you?
You know, if you turn on your computer, if you look down in the right-hand corner, it's me, like, Lalah Hathaway, everything. Twitter, Periscope, Instagram, Facebook, Christian Mingle.
Christian, And on that note, we conclude this interview with Lalah Hathaway before she shares too much.
She's TMI all over the place. She hasn't eaten today. That's why she's so talky.
Oh, please, let's get us some food here at the Capitol Jazz.
Yes, I need some cheese.
At the Capitol Jazz Festival. Well, Lalah, we are looking forward to many, many more coming
so
from
much.
you. So
Thank
I'm
you for
excited.
having me.
Yes, thank you for being here. This is Jodine on Capitol Jazz TV with the Lalah Hathaway.
The one of two.
The, no?
My mom is Lalah Hathaway, you know.
Oh, yes.
She's over in that dressing room. Don't